Hi, I'm James the Light Guy, and today we're going to take a quick look at this UltraFire LED flashlight. This is a super inexpensive flashlight that you can get off eBay or Wish, or actually a number of sites. It's ubiquitous. It's not always under the UltraFire name, but it is a rather simple flashlight design. So, one of the things to note is that we have this green dial on the front. What this does is it moves the chip inside closer or further away from the lens, focusing the beam. On the back, we have a toggle button that just clicks on and off. And behind that, we have a small O-ring seal and a standard 18650 battery. This is the UltraFire battery that came with the unit. It's listed as being a 5000 milliamp hour battery, which is a lie. This battery is a piece of garbage. I have here some Samsung 18650s. The INR 18650 25R. These are 2500 milliamp hour batteries. These are genuine and do hold up to testing. These are very reasonably priced. I think you can get them at about $4.50 a cell. And if you buy in bulk, much cheaper. These are the ones that I would recommend using in anything, but I think they're more expensive than the flashlight and the knockoff battery. So, in any case, the polarity on this is a bit interesting. You'd think with a spring at the bottom that would be your negative terminal, but that's actually the positive, and the negative goes back here. I actually do not have this battery charged, so that's a bad test. But these batteries are 3.7 volts. You can see it here. Fully charged, I believe they're slightly over, and they drain down a small amount. Let's take this front face off and the lens. Here you can see that mechanism. Oh, I got it all out of alignment. But you can see when we turn this way, it goes down, and when we turn it that way, it lifts up. Ideally, it would be square, but it's kind of a loose fit in this housing, so you run into some alignment issues. Let's see if I can get that out. One moment. Now I've got the adjustment ring off. We can pull this back. We can see that this is a simple chrome-plated piece of stamped aluminum, it feels like, with the wires coming through. And down at the bottom, we can see a small circuit board. Now, inside here we have a plastic sleeve to keep the battery away from the sides. That's because the entire case is how it transfers the battery. It's part of the circuit. So the switch connects the battery to the case, and the case is one side of the circuit. You can see down here the entire outer periphery of the board has a silver solder line. Let's zoom in to that chip. Since the chip is soldered into the housing, I had to brighten up the screen to get the light, or enough light in there to see. We can see we have a small 1 microfarad capacitor and a bunch of resistors and a small switch, little microcontroller switch If we look down the back, we can't see anything at all. Now, what happens here, let's see if I can get it back into focus, there we go, is when you click the button the first time, that capacitor is empty, or doesn't have any charge. Thus, it switches on to full brightness, and it sends the 3.7 volts straight to the LED. If you click the button off and back on in rapid succession before that 1 microfarad capacitor can dissipate, then it will start oscillate, or send the voltage through the resistors, dropping it to about its minimum forward voltage, reducing the brightness fairly significantly. I believe it also drops the current a bit. Give me just a moment to check. I was 100% in the wrong. I've been clearly drinking too much. The resistors only drop the current, don't touch the voltage, and thus dim the LED. If you then press the button a third time and release before that capacitor can drop off, that's when the switching activates and it strobes the LED at full voltage, full current, at a 50% cycle. Let's put this thing back together. Give me just a moment. We have the flashlight back together. If we click the light on, whoops, there we go, full brightness. And not that we can see much, but if we were to adjust, whoops, may have it jammed up a bit, there we go. We can see that turning this adjusts the beam pattern wide and focus. If we click it off and on again, this battery is dying, but you can see we are now at a fraction of the brightness. And once more, strobe warning in effect. There we go. We can see that we now have it flashing at full brightness, 50% cycle. Again, this is the battery it came with and is a piece of garbage battery. It doesn't like to hold a charge, and so that's why it's so dim, and I don't currently have the Samsung charged to show you this at full power. Give me one more moment, I may have one on a charger. I did have a fully charged Samsung battery. We'll take that positive end in, screw this on, and now you can see it is significantly brighter. Oh, that was actually the dim function. That's the bright function. Change the beam. And it's hard to tell because of the studio lights, but this is a fairly bright flashlight for a simple Cree chip. In any case, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share with your friends. Until next time, I'm James the Light Guy.